Hi, welcome to EphEats. I'm your host, Andrea Park. I'm standing here in front of a major North Adams landmark right now, Jack's hot dog stand. Jack's has been around since 1917, and it's been serving happy customers since. What's the fuss? It's just a small hole in the wall, right? Well, we're about to find out, so come in with me. Jack's has been around since 1917, and it's been a landmark in North Adams ever since. Just ask the regulars.
It's the only place to eat. I've eaten here my whole life before I moved away, so.
What keeps you coming back when you come back?
What is there to keep me away? Everything's just about perfect here. The food's perfect. The atmosphere is everything I could hope for. It's not fancy. It doesn't need to be. And he's doing something right. He knows what he's doing.
How long have you been coming here for?
Since elementary school, and it came a lot in middle school because it's just about a block away, so half days we'd all come down here afterwards, get some lunch.
So you have lots of memories of this place, huh?
Yeah, everyone who grows up here has a lot of memories. It's a great place.
How long have you been coming here to Jack's?
Oh, easily since elementary school. My dad would always take me here after like a basketball practice game or something, or just come here for dinner.
And what do you think is so special about Jack's?
Food tastes amazing, and usually served within minutes of getting here unless it's like packed. But, I mean, their food is cooked great every time, so I love it.
And do you come here a lot?
Yeah, about 3 times a week.
3 times a week? Aren't you a little worried about your heart?
No, you only live once. Enjoy it while you can.
Well, you look very fit for someone who comes here 3 times a week.
Thank you.
And how long have you been coming here for?
16 years.
How old? 16 years? How old are you right now?
21. I've been coming since I was 5 years old.
Jack's is a landmark. Jack's is a constant when everybody else's life is changing. We have people come that have been away for 60, 70 years. They come back for whatever reason, and this is the first place they go. I hear from mothers all the time that their children go away to college. When they come home from college, on their first break, they come to Jack's first and then go home. I have numerous people that are bringing in, that came here as children themselves, who are now bringing in their great-grandchildren. So it is a landmark.
Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about the history of Jack's hot dog stand and your family history with it?
Well, actually, my grandfather started this place. He came from Greece around 1914 or 15. He ended up in Adams, Massachusetts, actually, first. And there's a place on State Street that opened up. He was the manager of that. They were a hot dog stand. And he met my grandmother, who was a widow, and he came to work for her here, and they married, and it was called Atlanta Hot Dogs. Afterwards, when they got married, they changed it to, when my grandfather married, they changed it to Jack's, and it's been Jack's since 1917.
It sounds like the American dream.
It was. I mean, back then everybody strived to have a business of their own, and but you know, he did very well at it. It was enough to take care of his family, and then he had 2 sons. One left to pursue another career. One stood. That was my dad, and my dad had myself and my sister, and she went on to another career, and I stood here, and that's where we are today.
So what made you follow in your father and your grandfather's footsteps?
Actually, I had no intention of following in my parents' footsteps, and the reason was that I was always here as a kid. I started off as a dishwasher. My high school was right behind us at the time, and when I'd get out of high school, I'd have to come down here and do dishes. I worked every Saturday. I worked every summer. So I decided when I became 18 and went to college that I was going to go to college and pursue something else, and I did. I went to the University of Miami, 2 years as a marine biology student. I came back here, and I believe it was this summer of '79. And I worked for the summer like I always did to get some money, and my father was talking of retiring, So I decided to try it for a year and see how I liked it. And I stood here the year and gave it another year, and 30-something years later, I'm still here.
And Jack's has been around since 1917, so it's survived not only this recent recession, but also the Great Depression. What do you think has been the secret to its longevity?
Well, that's kind of simple. My grandfather's view was you have to take care of the customer. You have to serve them something fresh and hot at a price they can afford. And if you can do that and do that consistently, then they'll always come back. And so that's been the basis of Jack's from the beginning. As you can tell, we're no frills. We don't put our money into anything else other than trying to keep our prices down, and we depend on volume. And so that's about it. Just do a tremendous volume, and you don't have to raise prices or anything like that.
And have the recipes stayed the same since your grandfather started this?
Right up until very recently. Whirly's have been making our hot dogs since 1921. My grandfather and I believe it was John Whirly back then got together. They went through a numerous amount of different hot dogs until my grandfather found one that he wanted to sell here, and he did. And that was been like that since that time. About 5 years ago, about 3 years ago actually, Whirly's decided to eliminate that division of their plant. So they sold the recipe to another hot dog maker. And it took a while. It took a few months for them to get it just right. I mean, we still get the hot dogs from Whirly's, but they get them from somewhere else. So Whirly's is a big meat packing company, and so it took about maybe 3 or 4 months before the recipe came back to, I don't know if it'll ever be exactly the way it was, but it's pretty close now. Yeah, enough where people who have been away come back don't notice the difference. Yeah, for a while it was everybody said, "What'd you do? Change the dogs?" But it came back. Yeah.
What about the menu items? It almost seems like the prices haven't changed since 1917.
Well, yeah. In 1917, the prices for the hot dogs were a nickel a piece and 2 for 7 cents. We've been here 92 years. Our 100th year anniversary, I'm going to go back to that for one day, just because it's been 100 years.
It's going to be a madhouse when that happens.
That's what we're hoping. I'm going to promote it. I'm going to make a lot of people aware of it, and I'm going to do that a nickel, 2 for 7 cents.
Can you tell us a little about some of the traditions here? I know that there's the Hungry Man contest now, for example.
Hungry Man contest, actually, the original contest, the original event happened in the early 50s. One man had challenged a friend of his here to a contest, and the winner had eaten. They both had eaten 53 hot dogs, but the winner, his name, they called him Fats. He won because he had more chocolate milks. He drank more chocolate milks. In the 70s, my dad and I were discussing it with a couple people here, and they decided that it was then North Adams State, MCLA now. They decided that they would like to challenge Williams College, and they did. And we also brought in Berkshire Community and Greenfield Community. So we had 4 teams here, and the very first year, we had it outside on Eagle Street. The very first year it drew quite a crowd, an impressive number. But every year since then, the numbers became tremendous. The streets had to be closed down. Originally, the members came, they walked down from the college or whatever, but it got to be such the pageantry of it is they started coming in stretch limos. They started wearing costumes, like superhero costumes, masks, and it really started to be a fun event. Excuse me. We had to end the event